All right, guys, so I've been messing around with this device for just a little bit, and I said to myself, wow, this is actually a pretty impressive device for the price. Now, it does have a couple of drawbacks if I was going to use this as a regular device or give this to someone to use as a regular device. And the first thing is going to be the storage. The onboard storage is only 64 gigs, but you do have an SD card slot that you can use, and you can put up to 512 gigs of storage in here. Now, another thing is the RAM is 4 gigs. Now, by today's standards, I would think they will at least put 6 gigs of RAM in here. Most of the other phones that I get, they're 6 or 8 gigs, and they also have 128 gigs of storage. But this was one of their lower price ones, so it comes in at $159. But not having a lot of RAM and not having a lot of storage could be a downer for a kind of a high-tech person. But for the regular folks out there, they are not going to be bothered by that. They'll buy an SD card and call it a day. So the good points about this, there are a lot of them, but we'll try to tackle some in this video here. But I'll go ahead and say it again. The price is $159. And just leading into the next thing, which is hardware, that alone, it justifies the price. The hardware is a phone that does not need a case. You do not need a case with this device at all. Hands down, you don't need one. It's a rugged phone. So it's outdoor, water, IP68, everything you can think of, it's right here. So you've got a good looking phone too, by the way, which again talks about hardware. At least in my opinion, this is a nice looking phone. It's different from the traditional style phones, which makes it a phone that's okay, kind of eye catching, you know? So another thing about this phone is you have a headphone jack, which a lot of phones are taken away when the price starts to go higher. And then you have Type-C. This is another thing here. A lot of phones in this price range don't have Type-C. Believe it or not, there are a ton of phones out there that do not have Type-C in this price range or less. And some might even cost this price and higher and not have Type-C. So you've got a metal SIM tray, and it's also a dual SIM tray. So you just take a nail or something and get in there, or you can use the cable that the ejection tool that comes with it and kind of put it in there and pop it out. But you get a metal SIM tray, and it's dual SIM with an SD card slot. So you don't sacrifice one of your phone numbers by using this device. And it's got all these waterproof seals to cover it up, and they're actually pretty nice. And on this side here, you have a smart key. Now I have mine set for a double press for the camera and a single press for the flashlight. So I'll press it once and it's gonna come on. As you can see, it's blinding you right there, but that is how I have that. And then a double press will open up the camera. Now it does have facial recognition, kind of hard behind the camera, but it does have facial recognition. So I have it set to a double press and it'll open up the camera here. That is how I have it set up for that smart key. Yeah, it's got volume rocker on this side. I mean, and then you've got, again, over here, and you got that, and you got your speaker out, and then you've got your microphone down there, and you got a spot. This is what I was looking for, kind of shuffling around. I was looking for the spot for a lanyard. That is actually pretty cool. It has a spot for a lanyard because there's a lanyard in the box. So the hardware checks a lot of boxes, man. It's a phone with a nice size display, which is a 6-inch display. It is IPS HD. Now, another good part about this phone is the battery is 5,180 milliamps, basically a 5,200 milliamp hour phone at a really low price point. And this is where it gets really good. Now, this is running the Helio G25, I believe it is. Yeah, the G25 Octa-core processor, and it just came out this year, so that's something that they're proud of. So performance is going to be what you think it is. I mean, I haven't loaded anything on here yet, but the performance is going to be what you think it is, folks. It's not this blazing fast, running to just knock them down. Everything just runs fast on this phone. That's not what it's about, but it does have Android 12, and so that's going to help it to be more stable and running in its regular form. So I don't think you have a problem with this slowing down per se, but you might want to monitor that SD card and if you put an SD card in here, because the speed of an SD card can affect your device. So, I mean, first impressions of this phone, it's offering a whole bunch. It's offering a whole bunch that people probably are going to want to use in their day-to-day life, and then some. Just the fact that it's got this type of body, that saves a person 25, 30 bucks right there. Out of boxes are 65 bucks. You see what I'm saying? So this is impressive that they were able to squeeze this right here into a $160 phone. That is a bright ring light right there. They have it like that intentionally. Cameras on here, as I'm talking about the ring light, you know, the cameras are decent, man. You're not going to get these stellar photos and video because, you know, the camera is, with the phone being like this, it does have AI and everything, but you know, there's not a lot to get from this device. You know, it's got some basic settings right here, but other than this, folks, I wouldn't suggest you use this for like any kind of professional work. Snap a couple photos, post them on social media. In daylight, it's really nice, like in like a bright setting. But as you can see, video goes to 1080p, which is sufficient for today's standards. You can 1080p. There are a lot of phones that still shoot in 1080p, but you got portrait, you got a UHD mode to take some high quality photos. Now, how high quality this is, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be just mind blowing once again. But you do have night mode and pro mode, and so you know, that 4 gigs of RAM, that's what I'm talking about. But you know, it's a solid device for the price. Yes, I know that it's competing against a lot of other phones out there in this price range, but those other phones don't look like this. They don't look as good, in my opinion, and they also don't have this body where you don't need to buy anything. And this is a real rugged phone. Where it lacks at is in video. Cameras are okay, and it needs more onboard RAM, and I would like to see more onboard storage. But those things are going to depend on you. I'm speaking from a perspective of you. Well, you know what kind of phones I have. You see what I'm saying? So this is going to be more than enough for the everyday person. I can guarantee you that. And it's a beautiful looking phone too. I love the green. So it's your man Jay. I'll leave a link to this down in the description. It is 160 bucks, folks. If you're looking for something to give a phone to someone that you have a certain budget, or you want to get a phone for yourself that you don't want to buy cases and things like that, this is a good option for you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.